Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Monday, May the 25th, Memorial Day. The year is 2026. Let's talk trading, weekly, open, and gap. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. As always, please have your risk management in place so you don't lose more than you're willing to lose while you are trading. So let's jump right into it. We have the pound sitting 45 pips above the weekly open, 12 off the high and 58 off the low. Notice we have some open gaps. It's a bank holiday in many different countries, and so I guess those who are stuck trading are trying to move the market. We flirted with the 135. It actually pushed up to 35.06, but couldn't hold it. We're putting in the weekly open. We are within the weekly opening range, that is. We're within the opening range of the year right now. We actually broke out of the high by about 5 pips. And we are still below the opening range for the month. This looks like a return bar to me. So price, let's see, may want to get to, let's see, what would we want to get to? The open 35.22. So probably 35.25 psychological. Might be interesting to put a pending short up there in case it spikes overnight. For the year, 39 pips above the yearly open, 373 off the yearly high, and 337 off the yearly low. Inside bar, a lot of inside bar action. We broke out of the daily inside bar from 2 days ago, 2 trading days ago, that is. And we are now 42 pips above it. We're just below the inside bar, weekly inside bar 3 weeks ago. And we are in the inside bar from 3 months ago. We have 69 pips of range. Notice the pound New Zealand, or the new beast as I like to call it, it's 141 pips of range, and the old beast, pound yen, has 122. Interesting, the dollar yen only has 32 pips. Pretty much in and out of the buy zone. This was just noise. You really can't trade the first hour. At least not on my platform. The spreads are crazy. But if you want to target something, sometimes you might pay a higher spread just to get in because you know you have a hunch price is really going to move a certain direction. I think when the adults come back, they're going to be pushing the pound back down. I could be wrong. And we do have enough range to trade the rats, so red rats getting ready to feast. I still think we've got to close that gap. Pivot trading plan, we're near weekly R1. Bambino Flex is calling for shorts. Near the daily R1, called for a short, but that hasn't happened. Price near the pivot was called for a long. You can see here it did get near the pivot. We got near it, but we did not take it out. We barely missed it. The low was 37.1, and this is 36.8. Hand grenade close enough, right? We missed the weekly pivot. And we've taken out the monthly pivot. In and out of the upper wick zone. Actually, it opened inside it and just took off. 69 pips of range right now. It's not moving the needle. High minus the previous high is 43 pips, so that's a nice breakout over the week there. Price action, as you can see here, the range is pretty dismal. I did take one short up around the 30 at 1.350 level. Just had to. It's back on this candle. Price fell down, picked up a few pips. Nothing that interesting on the multimeter screen, except we are above some of the highest lows here on H1 and H4. Actually, there's a couple new multimeters. I think I might have to do some replacement. Price state dashboard and the flow state. We've got a D1 trend up, buy, pullback, calling for a buy. This is something I was working on this weekend. What had happened was last week I took a trade, and for some bonehead reason I went short. But everything was screaming long at me. And I think I might have talked about it on Friday. I'm really not sure. Well, I know why I got in the trade, but I don't know why I just didn't pop out. I didn't really look at the chart, analyze the chart. So what I did was I took a picture, I shifted the screen, and I asked an AI, I said, which direction would you trade and why? Well, it came back with about a 2.5 page answer, and it was talking about the order flow and the momentum and just a lot of different things. And it's like, wow, that seemed really accurate. I mean, it was like dead on. So I said, hey, generate an indicator based on what you just said. So it did. I call it the order flow bias. And so then I looked at it. It's like pretty good, but you need to see how it behaves historically. So I wrote a history indicator. And what I found out was, even though it's good at analyzing, you can't just use this as a trade signal. But what you can use it for is whether or not you want to stay in a trade. And so, for example, right here, turn off the dots. Now, I like to go long. Actually, this if price opens above the previous midpoint. This is the M dots. I have my mid 2, but I didn't load it on this chart. And then also with indicator 2. So it was below, but right here you can see right there it changed. So it would give me some confirmation to go in. But the beauty of it is right here is where it would tell you to go get out. Of course, I would have gotten out here, but while it stays green, it's saying, okay, stay in the trade, stay in the trade, stay in the trade. And then, sooner or later, it's going to turn. And like you said, this gives a signal right on time sometimes and sometimes late. But I'm going to use it to determine whether or not to stay in the trade. And I'm going to do that by looking at the multimeter. So if a bunch of these are green, then I want to stay in a trade. But if something goes neutral or turns down, then I want to get out. Or if it's green here and red here, you can see it's like, well, this is just short-term movement. Might be a pullback. So I might want to consider and just, scalping the pips. But it seems to be working pretty well. So, and what happened was I wrote this indicator, or had the AI do this, then worked on this one. And these two slightly different. I think this one has one component that this one doesn't for some reason, but I like having it so it can give me, I'd call it a double confirmation. Now, as I'm looking at it, what I'm wondering is maybe I should have a number here instead of an arrow, red, like in this case. See, on M5, we've got a green arrow, so maybe I could have a green 3, meaning it's been in there for 3 bars. I'm not sure if that would help or if that would be on a getting cute, too much information. But anyway, just something I'm working on. And these are going to be 2026 donations. Oh, you know what I didn't put up? I have another indicator. Oh, maybe I'll show it tomorrow because we're almost out of time here. So let's take a look. Range month, May, 356 pips of range. So it beats March, it beats February. Let's look at the ATR percentage. 83, not bad. Let's see, where are we compared to the yearly open? We're now plus 0.29. Not bad. Get the reminders for the month. We're between the wick zones. Buyers, weak control, higher high, higher low, but red sucker bar, I like to call them. For the week, we're above the previous week's high, or up above the upper wick zone. Price is turning up. Buyer strong control on the weekly, but we would need to fade the pivot. On the daily, we're above the upper wick zone of the previous trading day. Price turning up. Buyer strong control. Previous range is exceeded by 19.8 pips. We're crossed above the previous mid and pivot. Higher high, higher low, green, so definitely a higher candle. And we're 43.52 pips away from indicator 2. So, fellow traders, fastest 15 minutes in trading is just about over. I hope everybody's having a fun and safe Memorial Day weekend if you're here in the USA, and I hope everybody else has had a fun and safe weekend no matter where you are. And I want you to always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.